Stacks are analogous to folders on our operating system. If I had 10 images of the same flower on my desktop, I'd almost certainly place them into a folder called Flower. Then instead of having 10 files on my desktop, I'd simply have one folder, and suddenly my desktop is organized and uncluttered. Apply that same logic to my catalogue here in the Organiser and you can see just how useful stacks can be. If I have those same 10 images of the flower in my catalogue, I'd place them all into one stack, and once again we've achieved the same uncluttered and organised workspace. Imagine a stack of images here in the Organiser to be the same as a stack of images on your table at home. If you were looking through a few hundred of those photographs and spotted 4 or 5 which looked exactly the same, you would place them on top of each other, thus creating a stack. So let's see how we can create these stacks here in the Organiser. I'll start out in the media view, thus ensuring that we have all of our media active, and notice we have a couple of very similar photos taken out of the aircraft window just as we were taking off from Lanzarote. If they were all exactly the same, then I might be tempted to delete a couple of them, which I could do by right-clicking the thumbnail and choosing the delete from catalogue option like so. And then I'm asked if I also want to delete the file from the hard drive. Now this is important because if I leave a copy on the hard drive by unticking this option, we'll delete the file from the Organiser here but leave it on the hard drive, so wherever you originally put the files, it shall remain. If we elect to tick this option, then we'll delete the file from the Organiser as well as deleting it from the hard drive forever. We won't be able to get it back, so we need to be especially careful that we don't need the file anymore before we do that. My thoughts on permanently deleting files are as follows. I only delete images when I'm 100% certain that I don't need it, and when I'm satisfied that the quality is so poor that the file fails to provide any benefit in the catalogue. Sometimes you'll take a photo that is so blurry and out of focus it makes you dizzy to look at. Well, then go ahead and delete it. Sometimes you take a photo that is exactly the same as another one, maybe when using the burst mode on a DSLR or something like that, then I'd go ahead and delete it. Sometimes you take a photo and then realise the camera was on completely the wrong mode and you're completely over or underexposing the shot, then go ahead and delete it. In truth, a lot of those times you'll probably delete the file in camera rather than leaving it on the card, but sometimes it makes it tougher when you're out and about and you're busy photographing things. You leave it on the card, and what happens is you come back to the Organiser and you've got those images on there that you don't want. Well, like I said, go ahead and delete those images if you so choose. But for now I'm going to cancel out of this delete dialog box first of all, and in the case of these 3 images taken from the aircraft, they are all slightly different and they're pretty good photos as well, so I'm going to keep them. However, I will put them into a stack to save space on the screen here inside the image catalogue. And I'm going to do that by selecting the first one and then shift clicking the third one so we get all 3 of them selected. Then I'll come up here to the edit menu and I'll select stack, and I'll choose stack selected photos just like that, and it really is pretty simple stuff going on right there. Now I see a couple of changes to the file. Firstly, I get this little stacks icon at the top right of the thumbnail informing me that the image is actually a stack of images. Secondly, I see we now have an arrow to the right side of the thumbnail. Well, that arrow lets me open and close the stack, but notice that when I close it, I see the first image I selected. Say I want to change that behavior, so instead of seeing this image represent the stack, I see another image that's buried somewhere deep inside. Of course it's not buried deep inside this one because we only have 3 images making up the stack, but say we want another photo to represent the stack. Well, to achieve that we need to open the stack first of all and then select whichever photo that we want to appear as the cover for the stack itself. And then once we've done that and we've gone through the process of deciding which photo best represents the stack, we can come up here to the edit menu and then come into the stack menu once again, and this time choose Set as Top Photo. That will ensure that the selected photo will move to the front of the stack and therefore appear on the cover. In this example, there's not much point of doing that because all three images are so similar. But if you had images which varied a little bit, maybe different images of different flowers, for example, then it may be worthwhile. Finally, let me show you how to remove a stack, and I don't mean remove the images in a stack. I mean if you no longer require the images to actually be inside a given stack. How do you get them out? Well, the answer to this is to select the stack first of all, then either come up here to the Edit menu, select Stack, and then choose this command right here, Unstack Photos. Or here's another way to reach the same result, and that's to right-click on the image, and then choose Stack, and then go for Unstack Photos, and we would get exactly the same result because we're choosing the exact same command, just in a slightly different way. I'm going to leave my stacks alone though, as it works well for this situation, I think, anyway. Coming up next, we're going to be looking at an extremely important aspect of managing your media, and that is to make sure that everything is backed up and safe from disaster. If you're going to watch one movie, make it the next one.